Okay, guys, let's go ahead and touch bases again as we are approaching here some of the targets that we were talking about just last night. Couldn't make the promise. I could not make the promise to reach the zone of the 321 to 314.59-ish as we were speaking on just that target in this video from last night's thread of analysis, right, guys? Here it is, anywhere between 321 to maybe that 314.51-ish area, and that was kind of the target that we wanted to reach there. But of course, it's very difficult to be able to determine these absolute bottoms, right, guys? But as you can see here, we are absolutely reaching that 321 target with a bounce to the upside right now. So we want to see what can be happening here as there is this little bit of a rejection and then the continuation to the upside, guys. I am not bearish this whatsoever. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a couple different metrics here and determine what could be had here for the move to $4 or $5 XRP. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Everybody, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. My name is Arca. I'm actually coming at you here on a Saturday, August 9th, 5:11 p.m. Pacific time. This is XRP running at around $3.2367, and it is now kind of recovering a pretty nice upside. This is usually what happens when you close a 6-hour bar, guys. So this is well, in any bar really. This is retracing a 50% probability, right? So you're looking at a potential $3.2461 inbound. Should it have the actual bounce as in we found our supply bottom and that could be it? Well, maybe so, right? Because we are looking at the lows here, which were what, like 320 from Friday, August 8th. And while it's kind of a weakling of a support, it still has some credibility alone just because of this 318. And should we fail this 318, then yeah, definitely we can be observing that 314.59 potential for a bounce here, guys. But this is just all of this, guys, is just your distribution. We spoke about this downside just in last night's thread, right? So just in case we wanted to have that dry powder for that potential downside and reaccumulation zone. So let's go ahead and find out what other metrics could be happening here, right, guys? So here's an interesting idea for you. Take a look at this chart here, which is the USDT. This is your tether dominance that we've been kind of tracking here, and the downside is usually what triggers the upside continuation for our risk-on assets like XRP and such, right? So as long as you are exiting capital from the tether, right, because that's what people use as a buying metric for the assets, right? So they'll use the tether to purchase, right? So it's a dollar pegged system here, and you just exchange it for 1 for 1, right? So as the liquidity exits tether, this is going to be liquidity entering your assets naturally, right? And then when people are afraid, people get their positions out of their assets, and that's when you get this pump to the upside as we fill the tether asset back up, the dollar pegged stable coin. So that's how that kind of works here. So what we're doing here, guys, is I know that there's a bunch of lines here, but I want you to focus on the broadening of these two, the yellow here. I'm sorry, the blue lines, right? Take a look at how that's broadening there. So that is a broadening wedge, right? Ascending broadening wedge. And usually what happens is when we break down from the regression of this, right, has a pretty nice connecting point here, these areas down here. And look at this, we break down and now we're using it as a resistance. So what's happening here is that we're using it as a validation. We're breaking and validating so we can get a good confirmation that, this is in fact a resistance up here, and we can lead towards a further downside. So the take profit on this formation typically is the genesis of the formation. So it still has kind of a long way down here, right? But this would be the implied target or the price objective for that formation. It would be at around 4.11% USDT, which would introduce more and more upside into the risk on assets that we are trading now. So yeah, guys, I mean, first target to the downside, of course, we're going to be observing, we just passed your first ascending broadening wedge, right? This was the one here, and then that was the target right down here, which we just got. What was a part of that bounce right there, right? And considering this bottom side target, that is just dynamics here, guys. You're looking at support bottoms that are confluent over specific time, right? So anywhere between this and this is a great support range. So meaning that it could actually bounce for another support resistance and then comes down. So remember, guys, downside USDT, upside XRP. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at something else here, because this is kind of what's mitigating a lot of that run to the upside, right, guys? Take a look at that magnificent upside that we looked at yesterday on Ethereum. We were specifically talking about the potentials of reaching up here to 4,371. So far, we have reached the top side of 4,326. Very, very close to the targets that we've been talking about, right, guys? But this is a full-fledged breakout here from Ethereum, and this, sure, it always has the opportunity to come back and test that 4120, but I will say that this has an immense amount of strength, and it does show probability for continuation to the upside, even still for a shorter period before we experience a little bit of resistance. So in other words, it could be that we are waiting for the market, the traditional markets, to open, like stocks, right, on your Mondays. So that's, that's more or less when there could be some more volatile moves, as there's going to be a lot of participation in overall markets. So yeah, this is a good sign of continuation, guys. And I mean, Ethereum has a massive upside probability. This is kind of triggering here your smaller capped crypto assets, right, guys? So that's about there, looking pretty damn good. Okay, team, so this is XLM looking sitting here at 44,729.7, right? Still within that bull flag formation and still looking magical here, because that I mean, this bull flag formation, sure, that could be sending price action straight into the areas of around $2.32, and that's very confluent to the first exit strategy using the bull pennant, right, guys? So now the bull pennant is another higher probability upside type of formation, right, guys? So this convergence that you're seeing here within a top of a price action usually leads towards an upside continuation, of which you can figure those three targets out using literally this area here for take profit, right, which is this one here. You can use, yeah, we have a double bottom here. That's a tiny target that can do it. It's already there. The center area of your triangle, and the largest area, right? So these, the largest area suggesting a massive 2778, right, guys? That's the thumbnail target right there. So, and then your other targets are around that 491 and even the $2 targets, right, guys? So yeah, more locally, we could start observing more around the lines of around 65 to around 93 cents, right, guys? That's where I think XLM could be sitting pretty comfortably. I mean, this kind of made that downside approach already, came down to a zone of around 42.27-ish already. So that these are great areas, guys. I think that as soon as we can get some more price action, we're going to be experiencing or exploring that probability of upside and breakout. So for now, as long as we are just validating here, guys, we're okay. It feels like it's still a little quiet before we get that actual push. It's just getting people excited right now, right? It's taunting you. So I mean, all good, right? But guys, I did go over this in the master's course, right, for the beginners, as I was getting a lot of questions here this morning for our week 2, which, by the way, you can still join, guys. Week number 2 is going to be repeated again on Thursday, so make sure to look in the description below and sign up, enroll towards the master's class. And it's fairly cheap, guys. It's $100 for 9-week mentorship with me. I mean, for real, your boy's working over here for 18 cents an hour. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Come down and join the rest of the team. We're going to do literally our first actual lecture is today and also on Thursday, right? And then week number 3 would be our second lecture. Okay, guys. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at XRP now, as this was what was discovered within the lecture today for the master students, right? We discovered here a kind of a large inverse head and shoulders here that is leading towards a pretty big target. Now we have 2 regressions for the inverse head and shoulders, right? We have this that has very nice connecting points all the way across that regression, which gives you a target, a smaller target of roughly around the areas of $3.95, so just about $4, right? Now it does have also another nice regression here that it does have all those contact points pretty nicely, and that is introducing to you a further upside that could be observed here at that target of around 444. Now, just like we talked about yesterday, just to remind you, right, that within the major time frame here on a lot of assets, this is actually looking very familiar. Sorry about that. This is actually your bull flag formation, and your bull flag, should it be that we start breaking out from this $3.66 zone, which is pretty much your all-time high, that would introduce the probabilities of running into this target right up here, 495.70, guys. That's reaching about a $5 target now, and I think that's just probably what we're going to name this this thumbnail here, the path to $5. And it actually wouldn't be that big of a problem or a big deal to make a move like that, guys. Not going to lie here, this does feel like it's going to be a very high probability continuation. I think that you may be catching a lot of these crypto assets right before there could be some kind of an alt season or something, as Ethereum is giving a little bit of a breakout and giving that hint as a potential let's go for a lot of the small cap assets, right, guys? So heads up on some of those, right? There's even this ticker, there's even this ticker symbol SUI, right, that's actually preparing itself for a pretty nice breakout here, as it is in resistance from what is notably known as a bullish buy formation here, right? So you have your right angle triangle here, right, guys, and you also have your higher low W formation, right, guys? So this is actually leading towards what could be, a bigger target than your $5.38 zone. I do think that SUI has a pretty nice, a pretty nice probability here for. I'd say, you know what, I'm just going to leave it here at the regression, right? SUI could be making a run based on your W bottom, right, to around $8. And it does have some other formation targets too, right? Like, for example, here, should we break out officially from this next zone here, that's another zone that we can observe, which is roughly the 50% of your triangle, right? So that's a very, very clean target that we can observe here. Potential continuation into that 744.04. And now the highest target that it can actually endure here would probably be from this point here all the way down to the very bottom side. In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it per traditional practice and take it from the very back and absolutely put it down to that lowest point. And this will be giving you that third available target, right? So you're looking at these in sequence here: 744, potential areas of 817 and 1166 for ticker symbol SUI. And I will say that it does in fact feel like it's getting a pretty nice thrust to the upside on many time frames here, guys. New 5-day time frame, getting this crossover with expansion. Yep, this is looking good. Inverse head and shoulders here, buy formations everywhere. And yeah, guys, I think this is looking pretty damn good. Yeah, this is looking pretty damn good too. All right, team. So I think I think if we can just make sure to observe these as opportunities on these little lows here for, specifically every one of them, right? We probably would be doing a pretty good solid job, right, guys? But yeah, should there be any continuation to the downside here on XRP, please remember that I am still observing could there be a double bottom to the 321, or maybe even liquidity grab down to 314.59, even into that 318.12? Sure. This is three bars here that are pretty much larger than each other, and it is suggesting continuation to the downside. So should we resist somewhere? Yeah, there is the probability of resisting anywhere in this range here. So it's just going to be a little bit slow right now, right, guys? So yeah, your higher probability resistance would land right around these targets here, 324.69 to 326.25. Now, guys, if we do fail this support here, I'm definitely not saying that we're going there, right? But there's still the chance here of getting down, and I really don't think so, right? I really doubt this, but there could be the chance of like a 308, and a 308 has a genuinely nice area of support still in there, right? You have many bars in there. But yeah, guys, these are all relevant support bottoms, and this is just your typical reaccumulation before an upside here. So I would embrace this as a pretty unique opportunity for upside continuation. I think it's looking good, guys. Okay, so should you want to sign up to that course, guys, make sure to get into that link in the description below, and everything will be cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody for watching here, and yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to leave off. I love you, team. We'll talk very, very scary Jerry Larry soon. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever, 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 ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well. A very, very good rest of your night and or day. And I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios, team.